He said his phone was dying. A quiet sentence tossed over his shoulder as he slipped into the bedroom, screen pressed to his chest as if it carried state secrets. I didn't question it. I didn't move. I just listened. The soft click of the door, the muffled whispering, the rustle of sheets when he thought he was being careful. My coffee went cold in my hands before he came back out. His smile was crooked, forced, misaligned with the rest of his face. He kissed the top of my head without looking at me, without noticing that my body didn't soften the way it usually did. "Long day tomorrow," he said. "Let's sleep early." But he didn't sleep. Not really. He turned his back to me, the glow of his screen slipping through the cracks of his fingers. Fast typing, small laughs, a rhythm he never had for me. I kept my breathing slow, timed, believable. Just before sunrise, as the sky began its pale surrender to morning, I felt him vibrate with excitement. A message, one he couldn't ignore. When I opened my eyes an hour later, he was already in the kitchen, acting tired, acting frustrated, acting like he had anything to complain about. He looked at me only after he typed something. "Good morning," he said. But I had already seen the notification pop up on his lock screen. "Good morning, babe." Not to me. Never to me. My heart didn't crack. It simply went silent. I didn't ask who she was. I didn't ask why his phone suddenly lived longer for her than for me. I just watched. That's always the part people underestimate. The watching. The gathering. The silence that builds like frost on a window, turning breath into something visible, something sharp. He complained about the toast being too crisp. He complained the eggs were cold. He complained about everything except the one thing that mattered. And I just nodded. But inside, something shifted. A quiet click. A lock sliding into place. I thought about the last few months. The distance. The late nights. The explanations that required too many words. The sudden urge to shower before hugging me. The way he angled his phone away as though light itself might betray him. I had ignored it all. People do that when they still believe the story they built together is worth saving. But that morning, when I watched him smirk at a message he pretended he didn't read, the denial died. I noticed small things first. His reflection smiling at his phone when he walked past the mirror. The lingering scent of a perfume I didn't wear. The way he softened his voice, but never for me. I replayed his behavior like scenes from a film I suddenly realized wasn't fiction. He wasn't tired. He wasn't distant. He wasn't overwhelmed or stressed or lost. He was in love, just not with me. And as the realization settled, the strangest calm washed over me. Not rage, not sorrow. Clarity. A clarity that whispered, "Watch him. Watch everything." And so I did. I began with the smallest steps. Not dramatic searches or midnight confrontations. No raised voices. No trembling hands. Just observation. His phone habits were predictable now. Charging it only when he wasn't home, never when he went to bed. Face down placement. Silent mode. Deleted threads, but not deleted enough. I didn't snoop. I didn't need to. His carelessness wrote confessions everywhere. I memorized the notification patterns, the frequency, the shifts in his breathing when the screen lit up. The rare, accidental glimpses of her name, always saved under something ordinary. Leo one day. Jim another. Once, humorously, just battery. He thought he was clever. Men like him always do. I gathered the pieces like evidence in a case file. When he showered, I photographed the phone bill. When he slept, I studied his expressions. When he left, I checked the calendar he thought he hid under a stack of receipts, handwritten timestamps matching her messages. My investigation was quiet, clinical, unemotional. At night, I lay beside him, listening to his breathing, wondering if mine sounded just as steady. He curled away from me. He always curled away. And I didn't reach for him. Not anymore. I printed the call logs. I printed screenshots from his cloud backup. Yes, he forgot I set it up for him. Their photos weren't explicit, but their smiles were. Their eyes. The ease between them. That was enough. I made a file, labeled it simply Truth. And then I waited. Not for him. For the moment when truth would no longer be an invisible weight, but a visible blade. The night before it arrived, he told me he loved me. He said it casually, almost carelessly, while buttoning his shirt for another late shift. I smiled. Not because I believed him, but because the pieces were nearly complete. The unraveling had already begun. He just didn't know it yet. The final piece came on a Tuesday afternoon. An automated email, his cloud backup syncing again, unaware of loyalty, unaware of secrets. A new message. A photo. Her. Wrapped in the shirt he lost months ago. His arms around her, his face buried in her neck. Timestamped 2:17 a.m. The same night he told me his phone had died. I didn't react. I didn't scream or throw or shatter. I printed it. One copy. High resolution. When he walked in that evening, humming, pretending he wasn't living a double life, I waited until he placed his keys on the table. Then I slid the photo toward him. No words, no accusations, just truth. He froze. His breath hitched. His pupils flicked to mine, searching for rage, for grief, for anything he could manipulate. But I felt nothing. He stuttered first, then denied, then begged. I can explain. I tilted my head, studying him the way a scientist studies a specimen. He broke before my eyes, crumbling, sweating, unraveling. Please, just tell me what you want me to say. I didn't answer, because I didn't need answers. I already had everything. When he finally stopped talking, when his excuses ran out, when he realized I was not reacting, I stood, calm, measured. I handed him the entire file, the logs, the photos, the timeline. He flipped through it with trembling hands. You tracked all this? No, I said. You left it everywhere. His face collapsed in on itself. I walked past him, opened the door, and gestured for him to leave. Not shout, not negotiate, just leave. But this is our home, he whispered. It was, I corrected. The most devastating part was the silence. The way I never raised my voice, never let emotion bleed into the air. He begged again, voice cracking, trying to touch my arm, trying to find the woman who once softened at his apologies. But she didn't exist anymore. Please, he whispered, tell me I still matter. I looked at him the way he had looked at me for months, distant, disinterested, indifferent. You matter, I said, just not here, and I closed the door. His sobs on the other side were the softest revenge imaginable. Not cruel, not violent, just deserved. The house was silent after he left. No footsteps, no humming, no shifting energy twisting the air. Just stillness. I sat at the table where he once typed, "Good morning," to her, where he once told me his phone was dying. I traced the wood grain with my fingertips, feeling nothing but the finality of it all. There was no victory, no triumph, only clarity. Betrayal doesn't kill love, it buries it, layer by layer, lie by lie, until the person who was supposed to be your home becomes a stranger living inside your walls. I wasn't mourning him, I was mourning the version of myself that trusted him. As the sky darkened, I opened the windows. Let the old air escape. Let the truth settle. He had shattered something, but not me. When I finally stood, I felt lighter, not healed, just done. And that was enough. My last thought before turning off the lights was simple, quiet, and final. He broke my heart quietly, so I ended us the same way.